The Hallstein Commission is the European Commission that held office from the 7th of January 1958 to the 30th of June 1967. Its president was Walter Hallstein and held two separate mandates. It was the first commission on the European Economic Community and held its first formal meeting on the 16th of January 1958 at the Château of Val-Duchesse. It was succeeded by the Ray Commission. It served 2 terms and had 9 members. It began work on the European single market and the common agricultural policy. The Commission enjoyed a number of successes, such as the cereal prices accord which it managed to achieve in the wake of de Gaulle's veto of Britain's membership. De Gaulle was a major opponent to the Commission, and proposals such as the cereal prices accord were designed to bind France closer to the EEC to make it harder to break it up. Its work gained it esteem and prestige not only from the member states, but from outside the community when the Commission made its debut at the Kennedy Round. Agricultural proposals. In 1965, President Hallstein put forward the Commission's proposals for financing the common agricultural policy. The proposals would have allowed the community to develop its own financial resources, independently of the states, and given more budgetary powers to Parliament. Furthermore, though it applied the majority voting into the Council, which the French government stated it could not agree to, Hallstein knew of the risky nature of the proposals and was unusually active in drafting them. The tone of internal deliberations at the time also showed the institution was aware of what they would oppose, and some commissioners were opposing the plans. However, they were also seen as vital for the Commission's long-term goals. The legislation would increase not only the Commission's powers, but also the Parliament's in an attempt to build a supranational structure and be rid of the power of veto. Because of this, President Hallstein won support from the Parliament, who had long been campaigning for more powers. Indeed, Hallstein played to the Parliament by presenting his policy to the Parliament on the 24th of March, a week before he presented them to the Council. By this he associated himself with the Parliament's cause and demonstrated how he thought the community ought to be run, in the hopes of generating a wave of pro-Europeanism big enough to get past the objections of member states. However, in this it proved that, despite its past successes, Hallstein was overconfident in his risky proposals. When Hallstein put forward his proposals, the Council was already troubled. Then French President Charles de Gaulle was skeptical of the rising supranational power of the Commission and accused Hallstein of acting as if he were a head of state. France was particularly concerned about protecting the cap, as it was only accepted by the other states after difficult negotiations, and under a majority system it may be challenged by the other members. Empty chair crisis. This, and similar differences between France and the Commission, were exacerbated when France took on the presidency, thereby losing the normal system of mediation. Furthermore, the Commission became marginalized as the debate became one between France and the other members, making the Council the center of debate. Thus, any chance of using the expertise of the Commission to come up with proposals was lost. Finally, on the 30th of June 1965, Paris recalled its representative in Brussels, stating it would not take its seat in the Council until it had its way. This empty chair crisis was the first time that the operation of the EEC had failed because of a member state, and it exposed failures in the Council's workings. Paris continued its policy for 6 months until the impact upon its economy forced it back into negotiations. Meetings were held in Luxembourg during January 1966, where an agreement was reached. Under the Luxembourg Compromise, a member could veto a decision that it believed would affect its national interests, but it did not detail what kind of national interests or how to resolve a dispute. However, However, since then it had been used so often it became a veto-making unanimity in the Council. The Norman was removed under the Single European Act. After the crisis, the Commission became a scapegoat for the Council, with Hallstein being the only person to lose his job over what happened when the Council refused to renew his term, despite being the most dynamic leader until Jacques Delors' First College. The First College served from the 1st of January 1958 to the 9th of January 1962. Political leanings: left-leaning, centrist, right-leaning, unknown. Second College. The Second College served from the 9th of January 1962 to the 30th of June 1967. Political leanings: left-leaning, centrist, right-leaning, unknown. Bibliography: Dumoulin, Michel. The European Commission, 1958–72. History and Memories. Luxembourg Office for Official Publications of the European Communities. ISBN 9789279054945. Groban, Hans von der, Walter Hallstein as President of the Commission. In Loth, Wilfried Wallace, William Wessels, Wolfgang, Walter Hallstein, The Forgotten European. Forwards by Jacques Delors, Sir Edward Heath, and Helmut Kohl, translated from the German by Brian Ruppert. New York, St. Martin's Press, pp. 95–108. ISBN 9780312212933-3. Hallstein, Walter. Walter Hallstein's inaugural address to the Constituent Meeting of the Commission of the European Economic Community on 16 January 1958. Translated into English by the Centre Virtuel de la Connaissance sur l'Europe, Brussels.